Okay. So now we finished off with shloka number 9, the last class or the one before the last class, if you recall. And then because we all had a lot of doubts with the sannyasam, the monastic order, and then the other relative sannyasam or the vidvat sannyasam, we went through some more details in the last class with some PowerPoint presentation. And since then, it has been almost a month now, I think, so close to 3 weeks or 4 weeks of a gap. Sri Krishna's Leela, but at least now we should get back into the full stream and go full speed ahead. And I really pray that most of you can participate on that Gita Parayanam on the 23rd of December, I think 23rd or 24th, 23rd. And the good thing about this year is once in a few years only you get it. Yeah, Saturday 23rd. It is also the Vaikunta Ekadasi. So this time Krishna Gita Jayanti is coming on a Vaikunta Ekadasi, and the Gita Upadesham happened similarly on a Vaikunta Ekadasi, which is on that day. And then which was like almost the end of month, because after that the 18 days of war, the Uttaranam start. Until then Bhishma Pitamaha was there. So if you really put that sum total, it almost comes to that 18 days as well. So it's quite, it comes in once in, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years, like that. So this year again it is Vishesham, that it is coming on the Vaikunta Ekadasi, Gita Jayanti. So on the Vaikunta Ekadasi, that if you do the Paranam of that, the fruits are innumerable. And so it all is for Chitta Shuddhi. So that's what we would also see today's class. Okay. So KKG, would you like to chant after me, please?
Yes, please. No problem.
Okay, so we will go with the shloka number 10.
Yeah.
Brahmanyadhaya karmani.
Brahmanyadhaya karmani. Brahmanyadhaya karmani.
Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha.
Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha. Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha.
Lipyate na sapapena.
Lipyate na sapapena. Lipyate na sapapena.
Padmapatram vibhasa.
Padmapatram vibhambasa. Padmapatram vibhambasa.
Okay, very good. Okay, so in the last class we saw all of them, right? That how this Jivan Mukta, like a great person, he says, Naiva Kinchit Karoti, Yukto, then Pashyan, Shunman, Spashan, Jigran. He was going through all walks of life completely free of any attachment. And he was a walking sannyasi. So we saw an absolute description of a Jivan Mukta as how he, though engaged in these worldly activities, nothing ever taints him or nothing ever touches him. Right? Now, in this shloka then, and imagine the previous shloka was all, the subject matter was Tattvavit, number one, don't forget that. So Tattvavit means a realized person. Tattvavit means having known, Tattvam. So an absolute knowledge, who has known that. That means a realized person. So a Jivan Mukta is that. So a Tattvavit acts like this. So now the context for this shloka number 10 comes for a Atattvavit. You want to make a note of it. So from shloka number 10, what Krishna wants to say, having set an example of an absolute like a mentor, and he understands, Arjuna, yes, you are Atattva still now, and you know how you must act. So people like most of us who are all maybe Atattva, having in the pursuit of the knowledge of the Tattva, but we wanting to know, Mumukshu, we are all. So how should we act? That's what Krishna is saying. So Krishna says, Arjuna, for a Tattvavit, Yaha. So Yaha, this number one, that's what I want to tell you. Yaha. Who is this Yaha? Atattvavit. Make a note of it. So Yaha is equal to Atattvavit. So this atatvavit yaha karmani, he still has got a lot of actions and duties to perform. Those actions, Brahmanyadaya, 3 and 4 means Brahmani Adaya. Brahmani means here Ishwararpanam. Because the Ishvara, unless we bring Ishvara into that relative context, only then you can, we have to do that Ishvara Arpanam. Right? So here, Bhagavan's thing is to say that Ishvara Arpanam. Okay, so that's what Bhagavan is saying here about Brahmani Adaya. 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Brahmani Adaya Sangam Tyaktva. Sangam means here that attachment, not just only the attachment, the feeling right from that, look, I am doing this action not for me or for my people or my family or for anything, completely for Bhagavan. So because we see, Bhagavan knows nobody can do like a robot. We have to have some attachment. Let that attachment be on Bhagavan, something like that Bhagavan is saying. That you must bear it in mind. Bhagavan, if you tell me that completely I cannot be in anywhere attached, but I need some grip, Bhagavan. How can I have without having separate? Bhagavan says, have that grip on me. So when you see the Sangam, that is why he put the Brahmani Adaya before. The minute you do that Brahmani Adaya, having completely Samarpanam onto Bhagavan, then automatically that if that Samarpanam to Bhagavan is 100%, Sangam automatically goes. That's an inherent message here. If there is a Sangam, that means we have not submitted completely to Ishvara. We are holding on to something. And we can experiment it even from the smallest of action. Bhagavan, I will put all the things on you. I am going to somehow do this one only for you, not for anything else. And just put it like, say, for example, this Vaikuntha Ekadasi, because we are still Sankalpa, it is in a Sankalpa stage. We just put it, Bhagavane, this is up to you. Let this happen, but I will put my prayatanam. That itself is I'm just giving a small example in this context of what we discussed. So in every action, when we put that Samarpanam into him right from the Sankalpa stage, then everything in that process, the arrangement, how will I travel? How will we sit there? How will we perform? What will happen? Everything goes to him. So the Brahmani Adaya is a beautiful thing. And so the very good example, lot of great Swamijis give is this mudra itself. You know, the Jnana mudra. The Jnana mudra itself represents Brahmani Adaya. Meaning to say, you know, for a hand, the most important finger is a thumb. Thumb is the moolam, is the foundation finger for all the 4 to act. Okay, so and normally we know this forefinger represents me or you, right? So a person's identification is represented by the forefinger. So if you take this as a Brahmani, this as the individual, so what Bhagavan says, Brahmani Adaya. That Samarpanam into that Ishvara. Then what happens? This automatically, these 3 remain separate now. And what are those 3? You can take it as Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Guna, or Kama, Krodha, Lobha, or Kayaka, Vachaka, Manasa, Karma. You can take any of these 3, it will apply. That's a beauty. So the Jnana Mudra itself represents this particular verse number 10. Brahmani Adaya. Sangam Tyaktva. Automatically it goes. So that was what I just wanted to explain here. That if at all we have I really given my attachment or not? Check if you have got the Brahmani Adaya properly. If that Samarpanam into Ishvara is there, automatically it is gone. Then I have no doubt. Then I have no doubt. Bhagavan, I have no doubt in Samarpanam. Then I have no doubt in the Sangam. Because Sangam itself is, it's a kind of a virtual thing. So why to put so much of weight on that virtual attachment? Because Bhagavan will say afterward, Sangam itself is virtual. It is not there. So why to keep on pondering? The more pondering on these three, you can't come down here. So sangam tyaktva karoti. And then if he does that particular actions, ada karmani, yaha karmani sangam tyaktva karoti, saha, number 8. That person, that atatvavit, though he is atatvavit, saha, how does he now act? He says, saha ambasa. Ambasa means here, ambasa is actually that particular floating ambasa in the water. Okay, ambasa in the water, in the water, amba, okay, ambasa in the water, padma patram, lotus leaf, padma, lotus, patram leaf, lotus leaf, like the lotus leaf floating on the water. What is that upamanam? What is the simile here? We'll go into that little bit. Padma patram ivam, ambasa padma patram iva, papena na lipyate, does not get tainted by any sins. Papena na lipyate. So let us, this second line is all about the example. So in the example, there is a pond and there is a leaf. The pond is filled with water. Not only water, if it is pure water, it is okay. It has got water, clay, you name it, that water is like that. But out of that leaf, there is a beautiful lotus flower also. And that is so good for Bhagavan, for his thing, but not the clay, but the lotus leaf. So here, the water is equal to samsara sagaram, or the papam and the punyam. And here when you say papena, you should also take it as punyena api. And the punyam also na lipyate. Because, so here, even the punyam is a kind of a dosham. Dosham means that attachment. Don't take it in the flow of any thing. Punyam really we require. We all need the punyam to get in this one. But both the fruits and good and bad that is associated is what we are saying, the samsara sagara attachment. So here papena is really the attachment. Sangena na lipyate. You can take it as sangena. Sangam sangena na lipyate. So that water is so the example what I told you, the water is the dirt, samsara sagaram, papam and punyam. And the float, the padma patram is the karma yogi. The padma patram is the karma. In fact, karma yoga jnanam. Floating is the action. So like a floating lotus leaf, meaning to say the lotus leaf is the karma yogi, atatvavit. But if he is floating like a padma patram, like a karma yogi, then the water, which is basically tainted of this one, does not leave. That's the simile mistake. Water is equal to the papam and the punyam, or the sangam that comes because it has got both good and bad in that water. And the leaf is that karma yogi, and when he floats like that, that leaf has to be there for the flower to bloom, the lotus to bloom, and the lotus is the moksha. That is why Bhagavan represents the lotus one. That is why this all represents there. And this is so in this, when Bhagavan, so in the sangam tyaktva, as we said, the sangam in that means of two things very important. Not only the fruits, the actions also. The actions also. And that how these actions will go, I do not know. But Bhagavane, this sankalpam, I've given it to you, and I will put my earnest effort. And that's all. That earnest effort also with the Shakti of whatever, the Kayaka, Vachaka, Manasa. That is a limitation. That's a constraint. But with that, we just act. That's all Bhagavan is saying in this Brahmanyada. So always Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangham tektva karoti yaha. There all these three, you can take it as a sattva rajas tamas guna, kayaka vachika manasa sangham, and then kama krodha lopam. You can put any of the trinity, that three things that you can take in the samsara saga. So that's the gist of this verse number 10. So let's go to then, so when Bhagavan he says like this, then, but the actions, the next two verse is to depict the no actions. That's a very beautiful thing. Like, the Newton's third law. Every action has got some kind of a reaction. Some kind of a reaction. So where does the reaction get deposited is what Bhagavan is coming to say in the verse number 11 and 12. We just saw verse number 10. So what Bhagavan is going to say, what is going to then happen to the action, that if he is completely left the attachment and he has submitted to Bhagavan with that action, and this, then what happens? So, okay. Yatish Bhaiya, do you want to chant after me? Yatish Bhaiya? Or
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now the Bhagavan is trying to tell about the actions. Kayena manasa buddhya.
Kayena manasa buddhya. Kayena manasa buddhya.
Kevalairindriyairapi.
Kevalairindiyairapi. Kevalairindiyairapi.
Yoginah karma kurvanti.
Yogina karma kurvanti. Yogina karma kurvanti.
Sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye.
Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye.
Very good, Shuddha chanting. Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
So again, coming back to that yaha, that atattvavid karma yogi. So Bhagavan says yoginaha, of that yogi, Shashti Bhakti, yoginaha, of that karma yogi, kev yoginaha, sorry, this is karma yogi, yoginaha, yogin, yogino, yoginaha. This is a pratama, this all the yogi. This is a, sorry, pratama bhakti, bahuvachanam, yoginaha, yogin, yogino, yoginaha. What does he do? Kevalaihi. Kevalaihi means just merely. Just take it as a mere execution. Kevalaihi means here mere execution. Mere execution. How does he does the mere execution? Indriyaihi. Indriyaihi, meaning to say these are the, but is using the organs of actions and the organs of knowledge. That is the instrumental cause. So Kevala, he just merely executing using the instrument of his buddhi, manas, everything, and also his hands, feet, and everything. So Kevala, he using his organs of actions and the knowledge. Number 3. And number 4, manasa, and his mind fully attentive, fully with no emotions, nothing attached, because mind is the one which goes for the attachments. Attachment is emotion, sorry. Emotions. So emotions free. Emotions free. That mind, there is no emotions, no expectations, no suspicion, no doubts. All these things. Mind is a more culprit. Then buddhya, number 5. And with the viveka buddhya. And now his buddhi is very sharp, because when the mind has got no doubt, when the mind has got no emotion afflicted, when the mind has got no tinge of any kind of a suspicion, then the buddhi is able to function properly and tell him, yes, this is what you can do, and this is how we must do, and this is if we do, Bhagavan will be happy, or this is the best we can do as what is, because we have got limited faculties been inbound with us in every action. We cannot do unlimitedly. So that is all in that buddhi then. The buddhi then conditions you, don't worry, what you have done with this one sankalpa, it's going good. You have got no emotions, don't worry. Okay, that buddhi, viveka buddhi, and doing the right action in the right place in the right time. Buddhya, and then kayena, by the physical body, whatever he can do. So indiraihi manasa buddhya kayena, meaning to say with the physical body, kayena api. So in this api, when I do kevalaihi, you put it as kevalaihi indriyaihi, kevalaihi manasa, kevalaihi buddhya, kevalaihi kayena. So 4 things, this Kevalaihi, which is an adjective, that is mere execution. So mere execution goes to 4 different instruments of action here. Merely executing using his organs of knowledge and action. Merely using his mind. So you see, the Kevalaihi becomes such an important thing. Mere execution, that's enough. No over execution, no under execution. That's what the Kevalaihi inner meaning. So Kevalaihi, with that mere execution, not just executing for the sake, but then sincere execution. That's all. Sincere execution using his mind, sincere or mere execution using the buddhi, and sincere execution using the kayena api. Even if that is being done like that, that is enough for a brahmanya adaya karmani. So this is an explanation for the previous one. Api, then number 8, Sangam Tektva. So that mere execution with this kind of absolute recognition and your limitations, having recognized, and with the sincerity, when then he said Sangam Tektva. The absolute attachment or detachment comes automatic. I don't have to go and really detach in my actions. There is nothing like a physical detachment at all. There is the detachment from action is absolutely virtual. So really the attachment, if you want to, I should not say as attachment, if you really want to recognize with cognition, it's only in this Kevalaihi. With that Kevalaihi itself. So when Bhagavan, what he does is he says, look, this removing the attachments actions is very simple. Bhagavan does not want to complicate in Gita's teaching. See how easily he has done this one. For doing actions without attachment, very easy execution, these shlokas. Like, that is why Gita Amritam. Extracting that nectar and feeding to you using everything what you want. That's what Krishna does here. And so Sangam Tektva, then what happens? Atma Shuddhaye. Atma Shuddhaye. That Atma Shuddhi, meaning to say that purification of that is faculties, body, mind, and complex. All the faculties. Atma Shuddhaye, karma kurvanti. Karma, the action. This is Ditya Bhakti. Karma, karma, that's so karma kurvanti. They perform their actions. So by the mere execution, by knowing his limitations of faculties and doing that sincerity, going with that conviction only to himself, he does not need to convince anybody in that. With these 4 faculty, when he does his action, in every action he performs, and Krishna says, he automatically gets the Atma Shuddhi, the Atma Shuddhaye karma kurvanti. Now you may ask me one doubt. That's if you say Atma Shuddhaye, meaning to say Atma Shuddhyartham, meaning to say for that Atma Shuddhi, if that person does not Atma Shuddhi becomes a fruit. Krishna says no. Atma Shuddhi is not a fruit. Because any fruit that you get has got a shelf life. I'm going to go a little bit into that one. Atma, you are ever Shuddha. It is not that we have to get that cleanliness as a fruit, because if the cleanliness comes as a fruit, then it is got a shelf life of again becoming dirty. What Bhagavan wants to say is the Atma Shuddhi is, that is why the Iva, Padma Patram Iva, like that. Same thing, Atma Shuddhi is also. Atma Shuddhi automatically happens. As much as we cannot measure this Sangam or Asangam, Atma Shuddhi automatically happens. As much as the Asangam happens, Atma Shuddhi automatically happens. Asangam meaning to say the detachment and Atma Shuddhi both are at the same time. By the Kevalai. So you see then how beautiful is it? Because this Atma Shuddhi meaning to say the clarity of his vision, the clarity automatically comes. That's what that Atma Shuddhi is. The Atma Shuddhi is that particular clarity in his vision and clarity in his jnanam. Because jnanam is already there for him. Only thing is whatever that was wielded by the limited faculties which had shrouded him happens automatically. It starts slowly unraveling. That's what Bhagavan says. And as he is doing this by mere execution, that knowledge that he needs to get the Atma knowledge happens slowly, automatically revealing. And that even the slow process of automatic revelation is a gradual positive process. That's what Bhagavan wanted to again say how easy. And having said that, then he again wants to say these actions and for all actions. So here he has told you how that Brahmanyadaya Karmani has to be performed. Then he says, and even whether you perform, so he says generally Arjuna, any actions has got a reaction, and that is what happens between the two persons he wants to compare, Yuktaha and Ayuktaha, and what happens. So, Devinaji, you want to chant after me? I've asked you to unmute. Okay.
Ji, yes.
Yukta
Haan ji.
karma phalam tyaktva.
Yukta karma phalam tyaktva.
Very good.
Yukta karma phalam tyaktva.
Shanti mapnoti naishtikim.
Shanti ma prokti. Shanti ma prokti nashtikim.
Very good.
Shanti ma prokti nashtikim.
Ayukta kamakarena.
Ayukta kamakarena. Ayukta kamakarena.
Phale sakto nibadhyate.
Phale sakto nibhatyate. Phale sakto nibhatyate.
Very good, very good, very good. So what Bhagavan says, look, Arjuna, to quickly clarify this shloka, he says, actions have got only two possible ways, Arjuna. Any action, how you want to do it, voluntarily, with knowledge or without knowledge. Either it will attach you or release you. Either it will attach you or release you from this world. And what do we want? So it all depends to us. Whether I want to get attached or released. And if you really question that, that's what Bhagavan in these one slokas is. Bhagavan wants to query yourself. He says, look, ask yourself, do I really want to get entangled and attached in this world? Or do I want to get released? Because actions have got only two ways, either to bind you or to release you. So you want to get bound or released, you decide. That's the beauty of Gita again. He'll give you the both directions. He gives you a beautiful logic. He gives you even the means of doing it. And he says, now you decide. So he says, look, the person who gets released is a yuktaha. It's a clever person who knows. And ayuktaha, is still not convinced. Because yukta means conviction. He's not a muda. He's still not convicted. So if at all we have not have got the attachment or discharge, you only have to really get your conviction properly done. So he says, yuktaha, that convicted, properly knowledge endowed, that karma yogi, karma phalam tyaktva naishtikim shantim apnoti. So that the beauty of that detachment is, Arjuna, this beautifully convicted jnana. He himself is a jnani even in that while doing the karma yoga. It's a karma yoga jnani, if you want to put it that way. So that karma yoga jnani, karma phalam tyaktva. Why? Because he's just doing only kevala indrirapi and brahmanyadaya. With that itself, he has released the fruits. The fruits gets released. He does not release the fruits. Fruits gets released. Karma phalam tyaktva. But what does he get? Not only Atma Shuddhi. That's what Bhagavan says. Even goes one more step. Naishtikim shanti mapnoti. Naishtikim nirantaram. that everlasting one. And Shantim, that peace, quietness, no disturbance. Experiment. We have to experiment this with one action, one sankalpa, and see the peace that we get. Shantim apnoti. The peace he gets. The great effort sometimes we put in our life. You want to get your marriage done for your son, your daughter, something. Put that whole thing on him and see when it happens after that, the fruit. It is automatic shanti, peace. Or a great thing for applying for a job, in those kind of things, because these are things where we have a lot of expectations. In those things, in those ones, or starting from a simple one, let's put that one into action and see how much of shanti we get. It's proven. That's what Bhagavan says. Naishtikim shanti. And how does he get the naishtikim? Naishtikim means it's a process-oriented peace, shantim. Because first he gets the purity. So this naishtikim shantim is from the Atma Shuddhi. The connection is first he gets the purity, Atma Shuddhi. With that purity, knowledge gets revealed. The knowledge, because the knowledge was before informative knowledge, and that knowledge he has put it into action by this Kevala Indraya. As I said, we put this into our own subjective knowledge, into say, let me see what happens. And if that happens, he says, with Atma Shuddhi, the jnanam, the knowledge, that absolute knowledge that he has done starts to reveal itself. With the knowledge, his renunciation from these attachment automatically gets dropped. With that, his knowledge has become a totally a revelation of peace of himself. Of himself means here the Atma Jnanam. Atma Jnanam apnoti. Shantim apnoti. So this is a way that action can be used. So actions, another thing, what we want to take here is actions are a beautiful instrument in this world. Actions are not bad. That is why if there are no actions in this world, there is no karma yoga. And for the actions to be performed, we must have this human birth. Because only human birth has got the free will, either to bond, either to get bound, or to get released. So even by getting this mere human birth and with the actions we do is a great blessing. So the actions by themselves is beautiful. That is why Bhagavan is, why in Gita, that's why you see karma palam, because actions are a beautiful instrument, equipment by this body. By execution of that only, you get this knowledge. And ayuktaha, who is not convicted of, have a conviction of this particular Kevala Indrapi, Ishwararpanam, or anything in his mind, what happens to him? He says, Kamakarena, because he has got that Icha, or Dukkam, or Dvesham, or anything. Kama comes from any one of these. Kama is just not only desire here. It's also Dvesham. Oh, I have to do this somehow, what to do? This is something that, while doing the action itself, is got a Dvesham actually. It does not. So, the actions which is done with desire or a hate as well sometimes. Both of them. And both of them. So that kama karena, with that particular icha, dvesha, dukkam, or whatever, to please someone, to all those things are, fruits can be in any dimension. Phale sakto, because so then kama karena phale sakto. In that fruit is where his attachment and nibadhyate. He gets attached into this world again and again. Actions have got no attachment. He does not get action. He's not attached to actions. He gets attached into this world. And the actions now are multiplying. Because he has got this ayukta, because of the kama karena, what happens is now his attachment multiplies. It goes in multitude. It doesn't release him. It bonds goes stronger and stronger and stronger. That's what Bhagavan wants. He says, use the action in a very clever manner. I've equipped you with the knowledge and I've given you simple upayam. So, Sashi Bhai, you want to chant after me? Next one. Sashi Bhai?
Babu, excuse me for today. I'm on the phone only.
Koi
So
baat
maybe
nahi,
not able to concentrate. Yeah,
that's
sorry.
fine. That's fine, ji. That's
Yeah.
fine. Koi baat nahi. Who is next? Kalpana ji, do you want to chant?
Yeah, I can. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Sarvakarmani manasa.
Sarvakarmani manasa. Sarvakarmani manasa.
Sanyasyaste sukham vashi.
Sanyasyaste sukham vashi. Sanyasyaste sukham vashi.
Navadvare pure dehi.
Navadvare pure dehi. Navadvare pure dehi.
Naiva kurvanna karayan.
Naiva kurvanna karayan. Naiva kurvanna karayan.
Very good, very good. And also, this Naishtikim Shantim, the previous one, I will send you that one from Shankara Bhashyam, one beautiful verse I want to say that. So what Bhagavan Shankara says in that Shankara Bhashyam for Naishtikim Shantim, one more, he says, Sattva Shuddhi. Sattva Shuddhi, Sattva means here Atma Shuddhi or Mana Shuddhi. Sattva Shuddhi, then Jnana, one second. So, number one, Sattva Shuddhi. Then number two, Jnana Prapti. Then Sarvakarma Sanyasa. Then Jnana Nishtha. 4 stages he gives. Jnana Nishtha. Sarvakarma Sanyasa. He also goes one more further. And that what this particular verse even explains more. So what he says, Vashi. Vashi means one who has got this particular, all his Atma, that is this Kayakam, Manasam, Buddhi, Indriyani. So all this one is in his Vasham, because that is why he is able to do as a Kevalaihi. So this Vashi, now this person who has now is progressing to a Tattvavit. That Atatvavit who has done like this, he says now he is progressed into a Tattvavit, Vashi. Now he has got them. That is why when we say Vasishtaha, means Vashikritatva tishtati. Vashikurvan tishtati iti Vasishtaha. Vashikurvaniva Vashikurvan tishtati. Isaha ataha Vasishtaha nama. So that Vashi, this Yuktaha, this Karma Yoga Sannyasi, Vashi, what does he do? Where is number 2? Where about number 2? Dehi. Why he has to put Dehi means he is still living in this body. So this he has become a Jnani, but still living in this Dehi, in this particular body. Dehi, all Kaya and Manasam and Buddham. So Dehi, who is living as a Jivatma, this Dehi, Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasya. Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasya. That now he has become a Manasika Sannyasi. He's become a mental means not a mental sannyasi. Not a, in sometimes we say he's a mental, that means he is a pagal. Aisa nahi hai. Mentally sannyasam. So that person does that sannyasam in the manasikam. Manasika sannyasi. Though he may be clad in any other dress and going about, that person is sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. All the actions itself, the actions, the fruits and everything, manasa sanyasya. By doing this mentally powered, the discriminative knowledge, having then totally renounced the whole world. Sanyasya Navadvare Pure. Navadvare Pure means this body, meaning to say there are 9 passages of input and output. There are 7 inputs, outputs in the mouth, in the face, and 2 input, output in the lower body, which you all know. So these 9 passages of, like, 2 eyes, 2 ear, 2 holes in the eyes, 2 nose, and then 1 mouth, and then 2 in the other thing. Okay, so this 7 plus 2, 9. Pure means this itself is a beautiful place. Puri. He is living in this particular city, Puri. You see, you are the king of your own body. This body manas, you are ruling. So it is. So the Vashi is also means he is ruling it. You are the ruler of this kingdom. It's just not a body of pleasure and disposition. It's a great equipment, Bhagavan says. Pure. In this Puri, in this particular, in this all his faculty that he is the commander in chief, Pure. What does he do? Na kurvan, na kurvan, na karayaniva tishtati. Okay, so iva sukam aste. So he says, you understood here? Navadware pure dehi, Navadware pure. In that 9 passages filled up with this puri in the city. I want to put it city than just saying puri. In that his kingdom. Na kurvan. Na kurvan means he really does not do any actions. He does not do any actions because he is only doing a kevalaihi execution, a mere execution. He is doing it. So he actually does not do any action. Na karayan, does not make somebody else do the action as well. He is not the cause for somebody else to act as well. He does not say, okay, he's not do action, so maybe he's making somebody else act. And no, he does not even make anybody else act on this one or any of the karma. Na karayan. How does he then live? He says, iva, karyan, na iva, na iva, na iva, na kurvan, na karayan eva, sukam, eva, sukam, aste. He lives in a most comfortable, now he is not only giving a shanti, now he says, sukam aste. That ultimate happiness, that is how he is there. And this particular verse fits for both the sannyasi. We've been always, in the last class only, we talked about Vidvat sannyasi and Vididisha sannyasi. This passage will fit for both of them because both of them act the same way. Only thing, one is a monastic sannyasi, one is a 9-to-5 sannyasi. So this particular passage is apt for both of them. So it's a Vidvat sannyasi, but it acts for both. Okay. So I think I met Chandrasekhar ji. Chandrasekhar ji, can you chant after me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Na kartrutvam na karmani.
Na kartrutvam na karmani. Na kartrutvam na karmani.
Lokasya srujati prabhu.
Lokasya srujati prabhu. Lokasya srujati prabhu.
Na karma pala sanyogam.
Na karma pala sanyogam. Na karma pala sanyogam.
Swabhavastu pravartate.
Swabhavastu pravartate. Swabhavastu pravartate.
Okay. So now, if that person does not do the action, and he's also not doing in the fruits and also in this one. So Bhagavan then wants to give a little bit more knowledge about this actions, karma. So you really, if you click on this chapter, Sanyasa Yoga, but then see how he is beautifully giving the science of actions. The science of actions of just not only actions by just a mere execution of some process, but how that process is governed by the executor and the person, the object that is being executed. So Bhagavan further goes to say, Prabhu, number 1. Prabhu here means Puri was there, right? So that connection, Bhagavan says Prabhu. That's why I want to keep on saying Prabhu. Puri means it is your city, that you are the king. So now he says literally Prabhu. So Prabhu means here Atma, not just the Jivatma, the Paramatma. Who is that thing but the Atma? Prabhu here means your individual Atma, which is a Paramatma. Prabhu. Because you are the now the Bhagavan of this Puri. Because you are a Jnani. And that Prabhu, meaning to say now is going from an absolute context of Paramatma. That in this absolute context, truly, Arjuna, this Prabhu, this Atma or Paramatma in this world, Lokasya, of this world, in this world or Lokasya, of this world, because of this world, karmani is there. So, Lokasya, number 3, kartrutvam na srujati. Srujati means created. The kartrutvam means what? The ownership of action or the executorship. We say CEO, right? Chief Executive Officer. So we are all Chief Executive Officer of my Puri, of my faculty. That much you got power. CEO or not, but you are the CEO of your body. But Bhagavan says, even that CEO-ness, that Chief Executive Officer position, I have not created. Na srijati. Kartrutvam na srijati. That executing ownership, I did not even create. So, Srijati, Prabhu, that Atma never gave that particular executorship. And also, Karmani na Srijati. It also did not create these actions. These are beautiful, deep tattva knowledge, but please follow me and then we will go. Karmani na srijati. Neither the organization. See, a chief engineer, CEO, okay, I am the CEO, I got my seat in office, but I have to organization, the organization should be there, where the action should be happening, right? That organization also, karmani here means that particular karmani, that organization of actions, na srijati. He did not create. Atma did not create. I'm just going literally, we'll go deep. Karmani na srijati. Okay, but there are fruits by which people are doing. No, karma phala sanyogam, because there are some fruits, because that organization has got, an organization is formed because of some profit, some fruit. Right? And that satisfy organization is linked. But Bhagavan says, karma phala sanyogam. Neither of these actions nor of that fruits or anything, sanyogam, karma phala sanyogam, na srujati. Na srujati. So, neither did I create you as a CEO, nor did I create this particular actions that is happening in this organization, nor the fruits and anything that comes out of this karma phala sanyogam, na srujati. Bhagavan did not. That means what Bhagavan here means, don't take it as that Ishvara for whom you are doing the sarpana. Here Prabhu who means that your Atma, Shuddha Atma, Paramatma. Karma pala sanyogam na. Okay. Tu, but how tu is not astu. Swabhavaha then tu. Na srijati. Tu is but. How does then how all this happen? You say there is no CEO, you say there is no office, and you say there is no balance sheet for this by which something happens, but all these things are there in this world. So Bhagavan says, tu but swabhavaha pravartate. They are all by Apa Arjuna, this is all happening by themselves. Oh God, again now you are confusing. You are saying these three are not there, but then now you are saying they are all happening by themselves. But at least tell Bhagavan that you are doing this, no? Then at least I can do the Brahmanyadaya Karmani. Now you have confused me. All the yukti, what I got seems to be now gone. Sorry, I'm just joking. But now you're saying swabhavaga pravartate. So that means everything is happening by themselves. So then, very cool. Now I don't have to worry. Bhagavan hai swabhavaga pravartate. चलने दो, जो चलता है चलने दो, कर्म योगा हो गया. ऐसा नहीं है. ऐसा नहीं. So what Bhagavan says here, swabhavaha is a, so that means swabhavaha, if I understood, is good. Because if I put swabhavaha pravartate, if I say Ishvara pravartate, if I told you, then you would say, thank you. Okay, he is then executing, because that's the Baba when we are doing. But here really what Bhagavan wanted to go is even a little bit more deep for you to get that deep knowledge. What Bhagavan wanted to say here. So if I understood in this sloka, Swabhavaha, everything, the chain of these reactions will be understood. Right? So let's understand this Swabhavaha. The Swabhavaha meaning to say Swabhavaha, meaning to say there is some inherent quality that which neither I can negate nor I can do anything about it. It is there. Swabhavaha. So in this Swabhavaha, Bhagavan literally means Maya Karena. Swabhavaha is equal to Maya, Maya Prakriti. So Swabhavaha is equal to Maya Prakriti. By Maya, this whole thing happens. Now it will be very clear for you. Because in this Swabhavaha, I am a part of this creation. I am not outside the creation. And the creation is inside and outside of this Puri, where I have a control. Right? Now that's where we Bhagavan's thing. So first is you get it, Swabhavaha is equal to Maya. Maya Prakriti. And that Maya Prakriti is internal to this Puri and also outside of the Puri. And what did Bhagavan say? So where should I now clue this with? In that, this one here. Indriyani indriyarteshtu vartante. Indriyani indriyarteshtu vartante is equal to Swabhavaha. Meaning to say, my body inside, okay, whatever I'm doing, any actions, the actions are whenever an action is there, an executor is there, it is part of what is this three guna, sattva, rajas, tamas. Because of these three gunas only, there is an execution of things outside the world. Outside the world means outside this body. And there is the three gunas only of the sattva, rajas gunas, my mind, my body, my words, everything also happen. And if this one is in synchronous with that other one, then the Swabhavaha, everything happens automatically. Okay, so that means that what Bhagavan wanted to say this is that Prabhu, if you have that kind of a functional nature of the Maya Prakriti, if you have understood that if at all that he or I am executing this, it is in this Maya Prakriti, then your three of the faculties of Kayaka, Vachaka, Manasim are automatically accepted. That acceptance nature of this Maya Prakriti. That's all Bhagavan wanted to say here. And that not only that, because of that matter interacts with the matter, doesn't matter for me. Something like that. So, meaning to say, these three guna inside of me acts with the three gunas outside because of some duty that this has to perform in whatever stage of the jnani it is he be there. That does not, so Atma does not truly act or does not truly consume. Akarta and abhokta. That's what Bhagavan wanted to again link here. You understand? So here when he says neither does it act nor does it execute, he is all putting the Atma as a akarta. That's why he says kartrutvam na. So he is saying truly, Arjuna, Atma or this Paramatma does not truly act. There is no akarta, he is akarta. But how does the actions happen? Swabhavaha pravartate. Because of the Maya Prakriti, this happens. And then the next one, should we see that, or we'll see this next one also, because it's in the beautiful combination. We'll not leave it. Just give me only 5 minutes. Okay. Yatish Bhaiya, you want to chant after me? Give me 5 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
Nadatte kasyachit papam.
Nadate kasyachit papam. Nadate kasyachit papam.
Nachaiva sukrutam vibuhu.
Nachaiva sukritam vibhuhu nachaiva sukritam vibhuhu
Ajnanena vritam jnanam
ajnanena navritam jnanam ajnanena avritam jnanam
tena muhyanti jantavaha.
tena muyanti jantavaha tena muyanti jantavaha.
Okay, so here Bhagavan is going to explain more about abhokta. So verse 14 was akarta. That's why all akartrutvam. Here, all about bhoktrutvam, or the consumption part of that one. And same Prabhu is mentioned as Vibhuhu. Same, Prabhu and Vibhuhu are same. So here Bhagavan, so because what happens is, the question arises that if there is no actions, you saying that it is truly done by that Paramatma, but he is a supplier of the energy. He's a supplier of the particular ownership, not ownership, I should say, the supplier of all the, he is the Mula. Okay, but Maya is on its own functional identity, which is also of his inner nature, not inner nature, of his Maya Prakriti is also from Ishvara. So then what happens is, then where does this one get consumed? If at all you think that it goes to somewhere, Bhagavan says even that does not happen, because in this action and consumption itself is a virtual entity. There is no action, truly there is no consumption. That's all Bhagavan is saying here. So what he says, because because these verse 14, 15 must be taken absolute sense, context, cannot be taken in relative context, because if you take it in relative context, okay, then what will happen? Oh yeah, look, there is no papam or punyam, because Bhagavan has said in here Gita, what did he say here? Vibhuhu, that is for this particular Atma or Paramatma, Vibhuhu kasyachit papam na adatte. Kasyachit, whatever it is, in whatever type of kind or whatever you think about, papam na adatte, papam does not come to him. When you say papam, it's also punyam. So that means Bhagavan himself has said, yeah, papam na adate kasyachit. He did not create this. So then why should I worry about papam or punyam? No, then it is in a relative context. Here it's absolute in an absolute context, Bhagavan wanted to say. Because we wanted to dispel the attachment and detachment. That is why Bhagavan wanted to say this. And the actions, and its signs of actions, and the complete tattva of actions. That's why Bhagavan wanted to say in this one so much in detail. To say really, Arjuna, from that Vibhuhu also, the same Prabhu and Vibhuhu same, kasyachit, of any type of the papam from the actions, because every action has got a resultant reaction, which is papam and punyam. Papam or punyam, na adatte, does not arise. Does not, adatte means it does not consume, it does not come unto him. Also, sukrutam eva cha na adatte. Sukrutam means here what? The sukrutam means that fruits. Sukrutam, that well performed actions. Sukrutam eva na adatte. Sukrutam also means the action itself, the what can I say? The good sukrutam or dushkrutam. Both you can put, like how we put papam and punyam, that the action itself. Because actions, we put an adjective, it's well performed or not well performed. That also Bhagavan says, na adatte. Even that, vibhuhu na adatte, that also does not happen. We need to say, because they are all a kind of a consumption from a bhoktrutvam. Fruits are the well performed actions or ill performed actions. Na adatte. And what he says, na, then what happens? Then how does it then I still feel that there is some kind of an fruits and that there is some consumption? He says, you know why, Arjuna? Ajnanena. It is only due to the aviveka buddhi that you have not still got that atma jnanam. That means I have to still do the Ishwararpana buddhi. The ajnanena jnanam avritam. So that ajnanena, that particular ajnanam, meaning to say that what can I say, doubt, that particular not a good knowledge. Okay, so ajnanena, by this maya. Here again that maya only you can say, or avidya. Avidya, avidyaya, ajnanena here says avidyaya. Avidyaya jnanam avrite. That truly, because Atma is Vibhuhu and Prabhu is actually Jnanam. Jnanameva Prabhu, Jnanameva Vibhuhu. But truly this Ajnanam cannot cloud this one. That is why Ajnanena iva avritam. Avritam. Tena jantavaha mukhyanti. By that avidya only people are deluded. So that is why we say, I am deluded by Maya, but or in an individual context, that avidya. So that means for me to get moksha, what should I have? Jnanam. Even from a relative context. From an absolute context also, it's jnanam. And from the relative context as well, so the karma and everything is only an instrument. The inner essence is between 14 and 15 is, okay, we understood in an absolute context, akartatvam, abhoktatvam, or akarta, abhokta. But then for me to get that wisdom, how can I get wisdom? By getting knowledge. How will I get the knowledge? By these kind of analysis. So even in the relative context, this particular jnanam, by which we analyze this and put this one into action, because for me to act, I used to be a yuktaha. For me to be a yuktaha, I need even this relative knowledge. Because the relative knowledge, with that only, that particular moksham also praptam. So that is what this one, that is where the next one Bhagavan will say again, jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashidam atmanaha tesham adityavad jnanam prakashayati. Then he will do the prakasham of this jnanam from all context. Jnanam is the most ultimate in the pedestal from any context. Everything. So the beautiful teaching of our tattva is, what I'm trying to say is, anything we do in this karma yogam, bhakti yogam, raja yogam, or any of this one, the ultimate thing is that jnanam. That's what we will see in the next class. And we will see more into the jnana prapti and the jnana prakasham. Jnana prakasham, swaprakasha. That's what Bhagavan will say in the next class. And we will see with that. So with that, I will finish. But just mind you, this 14 and 15, though it is akarta and abhokta, the main thing what Bhagavan wanted to say is ajnanena jnanam avritam. That ajnane is equal to avidya. That means for me to dispel the avidya, I need vidya. What vidya you need? Atma Vidya. And how do I get Atma Vidya? By studying these scriptures and putting it into action through Karma Yoga. Without doing Karma Yoga, the Vidya will not, Avidya will not go. And that Karma Yoga has got the beautiful Shakti to bring that Vidya in a very easy manner by the Kevalaihi Indriyarapi Karmana Kurvanti. So that's what Bhagavan wants to give this in the recipe, very beautiful, and end up with this Jnana Prapti. With that, I will finish. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambhade Sanyasa Yogo Nama